Okay, so I'm a little sick right now. My voice sounds like I'm currently in the process of gargling several sharp objects whilst having my nasal cavity violated by 2-ply tissue paper. I'm telling you all this because I've been gone for a month and frankly can't fathom the fuck needed to write a witty intro quip. Yeah, sorry about that. I was suffering from a severe crippling case of responsibility, but thankfully we're past that now, so it's time to bitch about this utter fuckery. Behavior, before I get into the sarcastic over-the-top ranting, I want to say that I'm impressed. If anything, you've taken a big step in what I and many others see to be a good direction, and for that, I applaud you. That being said, what the fuck? I leave for a month and come back to the biggest balance update the game has ever seen, with changes to both the core game and several meta shuffles. Thank you, by the way. Fuck this perk. However, for some reason, nobody wants to shut the hell up about off the record and the endurance meta, which is understandable, because how the fuck did you monkeys think this was an okay thing to do? Look, I get it. You're nerfing Decisive Strike, which I can somewhat see as justified. Getting stunned by anything is one of the most frustrating things in any game ever, and obviously it makes sense to replace that with a new anti-tunnel perk. But making the teabagging dipshits immortal for 80 seconds so that they can run around the map being even more of a burden on society isn't the answer. Yes, I know they fixed it so that it no longer works in the endgame, but the point is that they had to. Let me shine a light on this idiocy for a moment, because they nerfed DS, not wanting survivors to cheese out a free escape in the endgame, but then gave everybody a better version that gives you a mini sprint burst on hit whilst the killer has to go through their wipe animation, and then let you keep it during the collapse. How the fuck did nobody at QA testing stop and go, wait a moment, this seems counterproductive? Do you even play your patches before you fling them haphazardly out of the door, or is the metaphor of you being negligent parents really that accurate? I am aware that off the record is likely to be adjusted further. Overcharge and other problematic perks have already been tuned back, and I'm fairly certain that the inebriated homeless man they let run the studio has either vacated the premises or died from a hernia listening to maligned clickbait content creators. Except for you, Scott Jund. Welcome back, you beautiful, beautiful man. On the off chance that they don't adjust the perk and pull a behavior ignoring the problem for the next 4 years, well then it's not all that bad. After all, we already have survivors running around the map being useless dickheads all game anyway. Killers like the Nurse and Blight are still making themselves everyone's problem, and map balance is so inconsistent that seeing an offering in the loading screen is bound to give someone in that match a fucking ulcer regardless of the role you play. My point here is that everybody needs to calm down about patch 6.1.0. Even with the changes, a lot still stays the same. People are still going to run dead hard, it's just going to be significantly less powerful against the weaker M1 killers. We will always have some Blendat off from the corner of the map molesting a band-aid, and killers are still going to spend all fucking game regressing generators. Yes, behavior has made some excellent changes to the core game, and the perks we all use, which undoubtedly will shift the meta. Yes, some of these changes seem absurd, and fucking are, but ultimately, regardless of the changes coming in, we still need time to allow the dust to settle before we make changes again. I used to play Magic the Gathering. For those of you who do know what that is, I'm very sorry. I'll leave a link to some qualified therapists in the description. For those of you who don't, well, hey Google, what is Magic the Gathering?
According to Wikipedia, Magic the Gathering is a tabletop and digital collectible card game created by Richard Garfield.
That's good enough. Now, I used to love playing the meta. Always tinkering, always adjusting my deck, trying to create the strongest stack of cardboard I could. Problem was, I kept losing, and every time I lost I'd make an adjustment, change up some cards, try again, lose again. I didn't give the deck time to come into its own. I changed it after nearly every game, after every instance of a problem, and because of that, I never got a stable set of results to work with, and thusly never had the data to make good adjustments. Give behavior time to watch where we take these changes. Let the meta settle and collect the data that they need so they can make good, meaningful tweaks. Yes, they're brain-dead stupid at times, and they can definitely be stubborn, but they do have the numbers. And I don't know about you, but I'm not actually a game dev, so settle down, let these guys do their jobs, and give feedback using your inside voice. With all that said, even though it's early days, even though the patch hasn't hit live servers yet, and even though the meta hasn't settled, I can tell you for a fact that there is a ton of broken shit coming, and it is glorious. See you in hell, everybody. This is going to be an interesting patch.